nice watching the Lobos game. Yeah, it was. I knew Montana State has a really good football team, so I was like, boy, they had too many errors and too many mistakes. They had a chance to put the game away, and they just couldn't do it. So it's football. It's not that important. There's no magnitude to a football game. It's not like after the football game, we'll all live the Lord's Prayer, right? No real magnitude to it. You get right down to it. You understand. I never had any prior communications with the Rothschild fellow. I've never talked to the Koch brothers or George Soros. Never talked to Gates. Have I talked to Gates? I might have once or twice. I don't know. With Zuckerberg and his family, yes, I talked to them. I have talked to people. Not physically, but yeah, I'm on a Charlie Chan movie and we're doing a seance. It's nothing like that. I just believe in my ability to communicate with others, regardless if I'm using a cell phone or anything like that. I believe that, I have some of the best abilities to communicate with people without having to use a telephone. And if, you're doing the Todd Rundgren thing, think of me, that I'd be with you if I could. But I learned to control it because I don't want to, I want to focus on reality and love and kindness and intelligence. And, when you're talking to people that are on TV wanting to be Andy Warholish, and I'm sitting here watching the beginning of the FAMU Norfolk game. I think they playing up in Norfolk. And, but we'll see. I think they're in Virginia. I don't think they playing in Florida. I think they said that the game was at Norfolk State. But I'm watching the beginning of this thing. Got these people all dancing around, and no, you don't know. We need to deliver ourselves from evil. I was watching the thing about Tarleton State. I was watching the Tarleton State game with my niece, right? And they had a commercial for Tarleton State saying, we've been educating for 125 years, and we'd like to for 125 more. And there's no. I was gonna say they in Atlanta, yeah, because that's Georgia State's. That's the old baseball stadium for the Georgia. Okay, I was wanting to see Norfolk Stadium, but apparently it's old and not as big of a place, and to get a lot of people in there and spend lots of money on the football game. So. Okay. So what's the other one? Don't the Aggies open the season against Southeast Missouri? They play in North Alabama on ESPN. I'll be watching that too. You know how Eddie Murphy was talking about it with watching a fights. I'm that way with football. With basketball, kind of. My dad's that way with basketball. I'm more that way with football. Basketball, I don't watch every game. There's tons of them. But I do watch basketball and football. But boxing, no. I don't like to watch two people beat the shit out of each other for entertainment. And when you play sports, they have rules and ways you're supposed to play not to hurt one another and do it with couth and everything. So I like watching basketball and football, but I don't want to watch. I don't watch UFC. I don't watch wrestling. I don't like people pretending to beat the shit out of each other for other people's entertainment or literally doing it. That's uncouth and it's wrong. It's not necessary. But playing sports, it's healthy, it's athletic. Like me and Scofie and his I can't remember his dog's name. He from the Bay Area. He's from around Oaktown, right? So, but he's a linebacker. I'll be able to recognize him. I'll look him up on the roster and say, okay, that's his name, and then I'll look up both the young men and then get their names and which towns they from and shit. If they're from Pittsburgh or Richmond or what I'm saying. That reminds me of that lady at Southwest Airlines. Where are you flying out of Pittsburgh? And she got mad at me, and I guess the only place we fly out of. It's hard for a Steeler, I root for the Steelers. It's hard for me to admit, but the only place we can fly in is out of Cleveland. She goes, "No, damn it, I'm in Pittsburgh." And finally, she sits there and she yells at me, and she's like, "Why didn't you?" And then she goes, sits there because she's called an 800 number, and she sat there and she told me, "I'm in Pittsburgh, California." I said, "Well, we fly out of Oaktown." It was like, why didn't you tell me you were in California? When you tell people you call an 800 number and you say you in Pittsburgh, most people are going to assume you in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because Pittsburgh, most people don't even know Pittsburgh, California exists, right? Just so happens I know. I was like, you didn't tell me you in Cali. You said Pittsburgh. So when most people hear Pittsburgh, they think PA, not CA, right? She was cussing me out. I was like, damn it, girl. You don't be cussing me out, old lady. Mean old bitch. I wanted to say it. I didn't say it, though. She was mean. I was like, God damn. Come on now. So, but you guys got to understand, David Rockefeller was an asshole. Okay, George Soros is an asshole. All the rich people, all the kids, okay, that are in positions to manipulate us took what Rockefeller and Rothschild gave them and think they're doing it better, and they ain't. Forgive debt and trespass, love one another, sorrow for peace. They assholes. Okay, Jesus at my grandma's funeral. They're assholes who everybody. Okay, they're all trained. They'll gladly kill over me and my grandpa's money and watch you and your Jesus die, parsons. Okay, so you tell me where there's not an asshole, and I will go. Okay, that's where I'll stay. There was a woman who wasn't an asshole, and she was murdered by John McCain's business partners in Arizona to make everybody else have their testicles shrivel up and crawl under the cafeteria tables. And then when I go over there and try to express to Dad, let's all stand up for a Lord's Prayer and act like King David. You didn't do that. It's like, Dad, Rockefeller, okay. I do it every day, okay? They use money and economics because everybody agrees to it to manipulate people to try to make me look and feel inadequate and make you feel like you're more adequate than me. So, yeah, you went and made lots of money, never stood up for a Lord's Prayer in a day in your life, and you're going to treat me like I'm a pussy face. And I don't deserve that. And it's not that he treats me like he treats me like I'm an arrogant prick, okay? Because I got up and did what King David and Jesus did. And it's wrong, okay? It's wrong to sit there and say that Gabe Vasquez and that asshole fucking tattooed little bitch on that commercial, okay? You don't walk up to him and say, thank you for your service and thank you for standing up for us to be free by living the Lord's Prayer. You don't say that to any of those assholes, the Cabos guy, the Vasquez guy. You don't say that to Mark Neidrich. You don't say that to Pete Domenici's baby girl. They got, okay? Mental and emotional issues. They're like Bobby Kennedy Jr., okay? He acts more like his Uncle Ted than he does his dad and his Uncle Jack, okay? Bobby Kennedy Jr. acts nothing like his father and his Uncle Jack. He acts just like his Uncle Ted, okay? If he endorsed Donald Trump to be Pimp Daddy Nash for another 4 years, what's wrong with having, the brown, the Jamaican Indian Heidi Fleiss? Lord's Prayer. There's not a Queen Esther or a Ruth among you, okay? I think that Lopez has the capacity to do it. I just don't think she's going to. I just don't believe she's going to. Because by the time Obama left office, I set up a linguistics connection that worldwide, okay? All people have to do if they're famous is just step up and say, I recognize Parsons as the Messiah, and let's stand up for the Lord's Prayer, okay? Before Trump was ever in office, okay? They just they'll gladly kill each other over me and my grandpa's money and watch you and Jesus die, Parsons, okay? And when this technology shifts, and I have to be the, quote, architect to do it, because people are praying for thousands of years to the likeness of David, who's myself, okay? And Constantine is, I started a joke, and Jerome is, I started a joke, and Zakir Noack is, I started a joke, and the president of China is, I started, and Vladimir Putin and Zelensky working parts of, I started a joke that started the whole world crying, right? Oh, if I'd only seen. And it's already happened, okay? So when you talk to me, be like Scofie. Get excited and say, this is the dude, man, I believe it. This is a guy like King David, yeah. I was an exceptional athlete. I was probably the best athlete in the history of the United States. I didn't know. Jesus always slowed me down and stopped, and when I would do spectacular things, that I would stop myself. But I was so unselfish. I used to get yelled at by all my good coaches. Used to yell at me because I was so unselfish. All my bad coaches wanted me to use my talents to do things that were uncouth to win. And I was like, no, I won't do that. That will hurt somebody else, and it's uncouth. I won't do things that are within the rules, but they shouldn't be. Okay, that was Manny Treviso, Whitey Kaufman, Jimmy Oliver. No, as far as Wayne Kindle wanted me to be couth, but he always wanted to remake my game because he was trying to fix it because he wanted to be this great coach. And then when he believed all the gossip from teenagers, he and Bob's mom chewed him out. He, instead of call college coaches and say, I did this kid wrong and he's all district, he's the best player in the city, he didn't. He just fucked me and didn't give me any help, because it's hard when you get in those things. It's hard to zip in, and it's hard to find the right guy because they're all going to act like either Whitey Kaufman, Manny Treviso. It's hard to find somebody with couth. Okay, and they told me I should play for Larry Brown, but I was like, oh, my parents don't have the money for me to go play at Kansas or UCLA. I have to go to GCC or Western New Mexico, right? And then what are the chances of getting somebody that's as good of and intelligent of a coach that tries to do it with more couth, like Larry Brown at Western New Mexico or Fort Lewis, right? It's pretty rare. Okay, so it's very rare for people to be put in conditions where they can be like John Wooden, where somebody else does all the dirty work and he just has to coach the team and win championships and be declared a great person with a statue in front of a bank called the basketball arena. Okay, guys, I love you. I'm cleaning up and you need your ass kicked, and I'm really good at it, okay? You know, you love me, I love you too, but you be such a stupid pussy face and a dickhead that okay? Pecan waffles, I love you.